This is called Windows. Here's how to double the lifespan of your socks when they wear out. Put them on upside down. So the heel of your sock is on the top of your foot. This gives you new soles and windows if you want to see your toes. There are others. They're everywhere. Lift your arms up out of the water and join your hands over your head, so your reflection in the little chrome circle at the end of the bathtub resembles the National Film Board of Canada logo. You see, your whole body is an eye. When you need to walk out into the night of yourself. To muse, from the word for muzzle, snout, to sniff about, to stand with one's nose in the air. Night sounds your tent did not insulate you from. Smooth round river rocks. Wildness is the state of complete awareness, says Gary Snyder. That's why we need it. The presence of pelican and osprey and gray whale in our lives. This land is deer-colored. This place belongs to the deer. Memory is what runs from you, disappears in green stillness. Your future plans run too. The deer is desire. Voices of chickadees and nuthatches. The function of the dream, the chipping of a piece of stone. So, I used to work at a bookstore, a used bookstore in Edmonton called the We Book Inn, which is a pretty famous used bookstore, I guess, in Edmonton. It's been around for over 40 years. Anyway, this is kind of a semi-snarky poem about that experience. It's called The Business of Book Snobs. He announces that he has moved Buddhism from religion to philosophy. We've already had this talk before he was hired. They probably had it before I was hired too. We concluded it's easier for customers if it's in religion. He wasn't thinking about customers. He never stops talking about himself and his undergraduate philosophy classes. He wears controversial t-shirts. He name drops. I think he's ridiculous, a caricature. But I behave the same way when someone comes in asking for a copy of The Secret. I assume he hasn't seen much Buddhist art, with all its gods and demons, heavens and hells. But this is not a conversation for a Friday afternoon staff meeting. How to distinguish British Columbians from Albertans? Look at their choice of self-help books. This is called surface tension. There is green in the watery clouds. The frog gods speak. There is something heavy, waterlogged with drowsiness, between and behind my eyes. The round pool closes and opens again when I blink. The cattails on this side brush up against the willows on that. In this version of the story, the princess throws him against the wall instead of kissing him. How's this for a rainy day haiku? The pond just got tired of waiting. So, one of the things sort of very far in the background of these poems is sort of commentary about and maybe criticism of religion, Christianity specifically. For example, a lot of people don't know that the book of Genesis has 2 different creation stories. Totally different. And one of them actually centers other creatures, not humans. But guess which one we chose, right? So this is called, we chose the wrong creation story. Your clothes smell like campfire. Stars are still visible over treetops. Throughout the night they turn, then fade. You turn when you hear movement. You stand face to face with 2 spotted fawns. Their faces are close to yours. Your entire night inside the tent is in their eyes. Newborn sun, cottonwood bark, yellowed reeds, dark river mud in their fur. You know it would be soft to touch. Don't be afraid of us, we're always saying to other animals. A constellation in its infancy. The fawns turn and fade out of sight. Your coffee cools. You stand on river-smoothed stones. I'll read a couple more. This title comes from a Gary Snyder essay. There is a tame and also a wild side to the human mind. Adam means dirt, and Eve means life. Now let's talk again about the story of the rib. You know how a sunrise brightens, colors, burnishes the top branches of trees? That's how a pileated woodpecker must feel all the time. 2 different worlds. On the screen, wolf pups play happily with the spinal column of a freshly killed deer. The filmmaker is admonished by the conference organizers for not including a trigger warning. He confesses. He doesn't know what that means. Why would he? He lives with wolves. Every blade of grass has its angel that bends over it and whispers, grow. Okay, I'll finish with this one. Another thing kind of in the background of a lot of these poems is the smoke season in the prairies, right? The really horrendous clouds of smoke that we breathe in for, increasingly early in the year. I'm in the shadow of a giant mythical tree. And what happens to it happens to me. Night through foggy windows. Music of the spheres. The dog as writing companion. A nuisance. Both an inspiration and a distraction. More than half the life on earth is in the soil. Forgive us, O bee, in your squash flower trousers. Forgive us. Psyche, the goddess of the soul, is also the word for butterfly. The skies are full of embers, occulted moon and stars. A smoke ceremony, a prayer for rain. Thank you very much.